The makers of Camel cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. How mild can a cigarette be?
One puff won't tell you.
One sniff won't tell you.
It takes day in, day out smoking to find out how mild a cigarette is, how well it agrees with your throat. Make the sensible cigarette test, the thorough test. Smoke only Camels for 30 days and see just how mild a cigarette can be.
Here, transcribed, is Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was cold out, and it had been raining. When it got a little warmer, it would probably snow. The whole city was covered with a heavy sheet of ice, and the steam heat in my office gurgled and clouded up the windows. I was feeling pretty good. I was warm. I'd had one client in the past week, and my bank account was on its way to recovery, and a good breakfast in the drugstore downstairs had made me comfortable and drowsy. I put my feet up on the desk, leaned back in my chair, and closed my eyes.
Mr. Diamond? Mr. Diamond?
I must have been napping and didn't know it. I hadn't heard the door open, but there he stood, framed in the door, resting his weight on the jamb, and looking across the room at me with tired eyes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes, what can I do for you?
My name is Abel Gunther. I want to hire you.
All right, Mr. Gunther, I charge $100 a day in expenses.
I don't think I can pay it. I can pay you some, but I don't think I can pay you that much.
Well, that's my fee for you or a Rockefeller. I got expenses.
I see. Well, I'll keep looking. I need help. Perhaps you could recommend someone?
You'll pardon me for saying so, but you don't look too well, Mr. Gunther.
I'm pretty sick, Mr. Diamond.
Maybe you'd better sit down and tell me what your problem is.
I can't afford the money.
That's all right. Tell me about it anyway.
I think I had better sit down.
Yes, you better. What's wrong? You got the flu or something?
No. I'm afraid it's a little more serious. Would you really like to hear my story?
I think I really would.
I'm a farmer, Mr. Diamond. My home is Haiti, near Saint-Nazaire.
Haiti?
Yes, the West Indies. I was born there, raised there. My parents died when I was 13. I have a wife. She's there now, and she's the main reason I have come here seeking help. My wife is dying, Mr. Diamond. I must get help quickly before it is too late. I have a farm.
Kept talking, telling me about his life on Haiti. He told me about his farm, a fairly good-sized farm by his description. He told me how in the past 2 years things began to go wrong on his farm, and soon all the farms in the area were also having trouble.
The cane fields would burn every year. Then it was the cattle. One by one, they became sick. Then my wife, and now me.
And you don't know what's wrong with either of you, huh?
Yes and no. My Christian religion fights it, but my life on Haiti has taught me deep respect for it.
Respect for what?
Voodoo, Mr. Diamond. Oh, I know just what you're thinking. But a doctor in Haiti has examined my wife and can find nothing wrong.
Well, I don't particularly believe in anything like that, Mr. Gunther. But if you do, why have you come to me?
I said I have a healthy respect for it. I don't entirely believe it, but some of the things I've seen make it difficult to disbelieve. I came to you because I suspect a possibility of something more. Immediately after my wife was taken ill, I received an offer for my farm, a very low offer from a Saint-Nazaire banker. I investigated, found it had been made in the interests of one Arthur Cotswold.
Arthur Cotswold?
Haiti's biggest planter.
Oh. How about the other farmers?
They received offers like mine. Being the oldest farmer, the rest looked to me for guidance. I told them to wait. Then I came here to hire someone to look into the matter.
Would you like some water?
No, thank you. I'm all right.
Anyone else become ill besides you and your wife?
Yes. several others. I have $368 in my ticket home. The money is yours if you will go to Haiti and investigate.
Have you been to a doctor here in New York?
No. Mr. Diamond, here's directions how to get to my farm. My servant, little Shiva, is there. No one knows I came.
Mr. Gunther. Mr. Gunther!
Levinson homicide.
Hello, Walt.
Oh, Rick.
Yeah. Better get up to my office. I've got a dead man for you.
Are you kidding?
That's what Gunther told me.
Voodoo?
Voodoo smoodoo. That's what the man said.
Now, steady, boy.
Oh, stop it, Walt. You know I don't believe it.
But you're going down to Haiti.
Well, somebody's got to tell the wife.
The local authorities can do that. Hey,
No, what's the matter?
the local authorities in Haiti. Why didn't Gunther go to them if he thought there was something phony about the setup?
You want an opinion?
If you can strain one out.
Well, Gunther probably didn't go to the Haiti authorities because he knew they'd think just what you're thinking.
Okay, so I'm crazy.
Well, Gunther died in my office. He came a long way for help, and the poor guy wanted to give me his last $368. So I'm going to Haiti. I'll send you a zombie. Walt promised to send a wire and care of the authorities in Saint Leger as soon as he got an autopsy report on Mr. Gunther, and I headed for the airline's ticket office. By 8 o'clock that evening, I was in an airline's flagship at 12,000 feet heading for the West Indies and Haiti. The trip wasn't bad. We landed in Miami, where I grabbed a cup of coffee and then climbed aboard a clipper for Port-au-Prince. At Port-au-Prince, I took a bus to Saint Leger, and from there a beaten-up taxi to the Gunther farm about 10 miles into the country. As we neared the farm, I could see a crowd of people standing around in front of the house. And as I climbed out of the cab and approached them, they turned, and their hushed conversations were suddenly stilled. I didn't know what it was. No one said a word. But something was wrong. I could feel it. I walked through the crowd to the house and stopped cold as the door opened.
Who are you?
I'd never seen anything like him. He was a native, and he ducked his head as he stepped out of the door to face me. He was a good 7 feet tall, or maybe more, and must have weighed close to 300. He stood on his bare feet, his long, muscled arms hanging loosely at his sides, and looked at me with dark, shining eyes.
Me, little Chiva. Who are you?
Oh, me, very little Richard Diamond. Mr. Gunther hired me to come here.
You from New York?
Oh, yes. Mr. Gunther couldn't come back.
He die.
That's right. How did you know?
You come in?
Sure. What are all those people doing out there?
Their friend's madam. She died too.
Little Chiva led the way into the bedroom where Mrs. Gunther lay on the bed, covered with a fresh white sheet, her eyes closed in death, her face drawn and tired. Little Chiva told me she had died the day before, about 3 in the afternoon, and a cold chill ran up my back. I remembered her husband lying on the floor of my office about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the day before.
What you do here?
Mr. Gunther wanted me to find out why the cattle are getting sick, why the fields are burning, why he and his wife became ill.
Bad voodoo.
Well, he thought it might have something to do with a man named Cotswold.
He big man.
What are those drums?
For madam and mister. They voodoo. Good voodoo. Give blessing for spirit. For madam and mister.
You see, little Chiva, the Mr. Gunther wanted me to help him. He paid me money to help him and died asking for help. I'm going to try and do what I can.
The madam and mister good people. Teach little Chiva. They take little Chiva when he's small boy and make good life. You good man. Little Chiva help you.
Right then, I inherited little Chiva. And if there was going to be any trouble, the giant servant would certainly help to make up the difference. The first thing I wanted to do was contact the local authorities in Saint Leger. The little Chiva told me my man was one Inspector Laplanche.
A very fine person, Mr. Gunther. I'm sorry he's dead.
Well, how'd everybody know he was dead?
On Haiti, things of such nature are never a secret. The natives know.
Voodoo?
Being a stranger to Haiti, Mr. Diamond, I expect you to be a skeptic.
But you believe in voodoo?
Let us say I've been in Haiti too long not to believe.
Well, Gunther thought the whole thing might have something to do with a man named Cotswold.
I would suggest you forget Mr. Cotswold.
Then I suggest you give me a good reason to forget him.
Mr. Cotswold is a very big man on Haiti, the largest plantation owner in the West Indies, and a self-made man with a considerable temper.
Well, thanks for the advice, Inspector. But supposing I come up with something incriminating.
If Mr. Cotswold has breached the law, it would certainly be my duty to arrest him. But I am not considering the arrest. More, the necessary steps that would have to be taken to prove the guilt. Dangerous steps, Mr. Diamond. One might trip on those steps.
And break his neck.
Yes.
You like the middle of the road, huh?
It is much easier to see what is ahead.
It's possible to get run down from behind.
I do as much as I can to prevent that possibility. Example, my suggestion, you forget Mr. Cotswold.
I left the philosophical inspector and went outside where little Chiva had been waiting. Every time I looked at Chiva, it was like a little kid spotting the Empire State for the first time. He smiled a mouthful of white teeth as he said,
The inspector, he say forget Mr. Cotswold.
That's right. What do you think, little Chiva?
I think I do what you want.
You know what I want?
You want go see Cotswold.
Think I'm crazy?
You're not afraid. You're not strong like little Chiva. But little Chiva think of all the men he know, you would fight hardest.
I don't like to fight, little Chiva.
Little Chiva know that. We go see Cotswold.
Little Chiva led the way up a long, narrow road surrounded on both sides by high sugarcane fields. Somewhere from not too far away, I heard the drums start again. Little Chiva stopped, looked off to the north. He began moving his shoulders, slowly, keeping time to the steady rhythm of the drums. He began to sing softly.
Oh, hey, c'est Papa nous qui passe. Oh, hey, c'est Papa nous qui passe.
What does that mean, little Chiva?
It means in your language, it is our Papa who passes.
Papa?
Papa Dambala, the great source.
Voodoo?
Yes. Later I must leave you. Today is Wednesday. This is the day of Papa Dambala. Oh, hey, c'est Papa nous qui passe.
He continued his little chant until we reached the beginning of a long, high fence running along next to the narrow road. Chiva leaned down and swung a gate open. Then we walked up the path that led through the Cotswold property until we reached the house. There, sitting back between two huge trees, was the Cotswold mansion. I walked up to the front door alone.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes, Chiva?
watch out for Mr. Jocelyn. He guard Cotswold.
Thanks, I'll do that.
What do you want?
I want to see Cotswold.
You do, eh? What are you doing here, little Chiva?
I wait for Mister.
Found himself a new governor, what? You must be that fellow Diamond.
I must be.
Well, come in. Mr. Cotswold's been expecting you.
He introduced himself as Jocelyn and led the way into a large panel study. And I met the big man himself, Arthur Cotswold. The drums stopped.
Today is Wednesday. It belongs to the great god Dambala.
So I understand.
Most days of the week are significant in voodoo. Will you have a drink, Mr. Diamond?
No, thank you.
Jocelyn, mix me a gin and tonic.
Yes, Mr. Cotswold.
Thursday and Saturday belong to Uzele Frida, the goddess of love.
I'll have to remember that.
I know why you are here, Mr. Diamond.
I'm glad you do.
For some reason, Gunther and the rest of the miserable farmers think I'm responsible for their trouble.
Of course you're not.
I simply tried to help them. With their cattle sick and their crops gone, I had my banker make them an offer.
Have any of your cattle taken sick?
None.
Pretty strange.
Haiti is a strange land.
Now, you're not going to start talking voodoo.
You're a stranger, Mr. Diamond. There are many things that you would not understand, and I would certainly not try and convert you.
Well, I appreciate your interest, but I intend to find out why Gunther and his wife died.
This point I would most certainly give you advice on. Go home, Mr. Diamond. Leave well enough alone.
After I come up with an answer.
Mr. Diamond, I am not a patient man. I have gone out of my way to give you some healthy advice. Heed it. For your sake, heed it.
Well, thanks. I'll let you know what I find out.
You persist in this investigation?
I always persist. In fact, I'm the persistenist.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, here are a few words about smoking enjoyment.
The things we look for most in a cigarette are mildness and flavor. You'll find both of these things in Camels, day after day and pack after pack.
No other cigarette has Camel's rich, full flavor, the flavor of costly tobaccos properly aged and expertly blended.
And no other cigarette gives you this proof of mildness. In a coast-to-coast test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days, noted throat specialists reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Make your own 30-day Camel test. Not just a puff, not just a sniff, but normal smoking for about a month. You'll enjoy every puff, and you'll know without question how mild Camels are, how well they agree with your throat.
Yes, and you'll see why. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
And now back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
I left Arthur Cotswold cooling his fit with a gin and tonic, went back to Chiva, and he led me back to town. On the way, I got an idea. When we arrived in town, I sent little Chiva back to the Gunther farm. Then I went in to talk to Inspector LaPlanche. The inspector had received a wire from one Lieutenant Walt Levinson, 5th Precinct, New York Police.
Well, I had no idea the New York police were interested in this affair.
They're always interested when someone drops dead. Now, here's something pretty interesting, Inspector. Mr. Gunther died of a disease known as brucellosis, commonly known in cattle as Bang's disease. Ever heard of it?
I am not a medical man, Mr. Diamond.
Well, it's undulant fever. Both Gunther and his wife probably caught it from their sick cattle.
What do you intend to do?
Well, I think those cattle were infected deliberately, and the cane fields burned purposely. If the cattle were infected deliberately, there must be some of the brucellosis still around, and I'm going to find it. Maybe at Mr. Cotswold's. I think you better issue a search warrant and come with me.
Mr. Diamond, the middle of the road, remember?
I think you'd better forget the middle of the road, Inspector. Unless you want me to get in touch with the authorities and have you held as a material witness in a murder case.
I will issue the warrant.
I kind of thought you would.
I will issue it, but you certainly do not think it will be enough to get you into the Cotswold house?
No, but it'll make it legal. I sent little Chiva back to collect some of his friends. They're going to help us get in that house, Inspector.
I will have no part of violence.
Oh, they won't even be with us. It would be easy to search the Cotswold place if Cotswold was out fighting a fire.
Fire?
Just a harmless fire, Inspector. But far enough away so that Cotswold will think it's his cane fields.
Oh, well, then I will certainly issue the warrant, Mr. Diamond. As long as we are going to do everything open and above board, I will certainly issue it.
Welcome back to the gutter, Inspector. The view isn't much, but you can't miss where you're going. Let's go get little Chiva.
What are all those natives doing at the Gunthers?
I don't know.
It looks like something's wrong.
We piled out of the car and pushed our way through the crowd of natives. Inside the house, we found what was wrong. Lying in the middle of the room was little Chiva. He was almost dead when I knelt beside him.
I talked to friends. They light fire for you.
Thanks, Chiva.
Now, Dambalawedo take me.
He's been stabbed.
Nearly cut him in two. They got him from behind. Never would have faced him.
You stay. You see, waitele non tete yamort.
See what?
It is a ritual. It means taking the spirit from the head of the dead. He wants you to see it.
You stay. You believe voodoo.
All right, Chiva, I'll stay. Now, who did this to you?
Not see. In back.
He's dead. The next few hours I'll never forget. The inspector knew what was coming, and he wanted no part of it, so he waited outside. I don't know whether I can describe it, but I'll try. And even though I saw it with my own eyes, I still don't quite believe it. The natives came into the house and picked up little Chiva. They placed him on a bench, and the ceremony began. Some of them had already obtained the necessary items used for Waitiloa non Teti Yum Mort. They included several live pigeons, olive oil, 30 pieces of fat pine wood, a pair of chickens, some coarse cornmeal, and a saddle blanket, and a large white plate. Little Chiva's body was covered by the blanket, and then the pigeons were killed and cooked without seasoning. The cornmeal was roasted, then placed in the white plate. The 30 slivers of pine wood were lighted and carried by the natives like candles. Then one of the natives took the white plate with the meal in one hand and the pot with the chicken in the other and approached the fire chanting a strange dirge. I nearly ran out with the screaming Mimis. As he finished the last line of the chant, the dead body of little Chiva sat straight up with straining eyes, bowed its head, and fell back.
You look a little pale, Mr. Diamond.
Well, I can't understand why. Probably because my blood's hiding in my feet.
What do you think of voodoo now?
Well, let's forget it, shall we? I haven't got the money for a good rest home.
We are close to the Cotswold house.
Good. Let's park it here and wait until the fire starts. The inspector and I sat in the car and waited while the moon climbed up over the clouds and the drums in the distance tangled my nerves into complete knots. After about an hour of waiting, a dull glow to the south started the expected commotion in the Cotswold household, and we climbed out of the car.
Fire, Mr. Cotswold! The cane field! Fire! Get the servants! Get every man out there to fight that fire!
It had worked. The inspector and I stayed to the shadows until the last man went running out of the house. Then we went in. We worked as fast as we could. We took the place apart. And I must say, the timid inspector had really gotten out of the middle of the road. He tore the place apart like he'd spent most of his time on a wrecking crew.
I have not found a thing.
Oh, the house is clean.
There's a barn.
Then let's go. We went out of the house and headed for the barn about 50 yards away. The drums were louder now, and the dull glow of the fire had nearly vanished. It was obvious that the inspector and I had to work fast. He took one end of the barn and I took the other. We worked toward each other. Just about the time I was ready to give the whole thing up.
Diamond! Diamond!
Inspector, you find something?
This hypodermic for cattle.
That's not enough.
This bottle hidden under this box.
Well, it's more like it. Let's get it back to town and have it analyzed.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Diamond.
Cotswold.
It was Cotswold, and he had 3 things on his side that made the situation very uncomfortable. His bodyguard, Jocelyn, and 2 guns. They stepped through the open door and moved up to us.
I see you found my secret, Mr. Diamond.
This is the stuff you've been infecting the cattle with. And this is what killed the Gunthers.
That's correct. You see, you should have really taken my advice and returned to the States.
You'll be held for murder, Cotswold.
Who will convict me, Mr. Diamond? No evidence, no one to testify. I'm surprised at you, Inspector. I thought you had more sense.
Sometimes a man finds his pride and does the best thing.
You know, of course, I can't allow either of you to live.
We had a hunch. Now tell me something. Who killed little Cheever?
He was getting to be a nuisance. I had Jocelyn here attend to the matter.
What's that, Diamond?
Mr. Goswell, look!
Well, now I want to tell you, I'd seen a lot that day, but that was just a little too much. The howl had come from the open door, and standing in it, framed against the yellow moon...
It's him! It's little Cheever! No!
But there he was, and he looked even bigger as he shuffled toward the two men, his arms swinging at his sides like two giant sledgehammers. He was going all the way. He hadn't just come back from the dead to sit up. He was taking a walk.
Get away! Get away! You're dead! Shoot him! Shoot him!
But Jocelyn was too terrified to even raise his arm. The big native reached out, grabbed him with both hands, and crushed him like an eggplant. For a minute, I was too stunned to move. Then when I saw Cotswold bring up his gun, I threw the bottle. It stopped him long enough for the big native to drop Jocelyn's limp body and charge in. Like an idiot, I had some stupid reason for wanting Cotswold alive, so I tried to head Cheever off. Ever try to stop a freight train with both hands out? He brushed me off, and I crashed into the wall just as he grabbed Cotswold.
No!
He picked him up, raised him high over his head, and threw him the length of the barn.
Diamond, he's coming over here.
Now look, old boy. It's me, Diamond. Little Cheever, please,
Me not little Cheever.
What?
I should have guessed.
Should have guessed what? What is this?
This is Big Cheever.
Big Cheever?
We, me little Cheever's brother. Me pay back for kill little Cheever.
Oh, good gosh.
I never thought
We, me big Cheever. Come, I take you back to Gunther house. Little Cheever say you good man. I be your servant.
Well, if you don't mind, I just think I'll head back for the States and lie in a warm tub of mud for the next 6 months. Tell me something, Big Cheever.
What do you want?
You don't have a big brother, do you?
Dick Powell will return in just a minute.
More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette, according to a repeated nationwide survey.
Doctors in every branch of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country, have again been asked what cigarette they smoked.
Again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Friends, try Camels and discover for yourself the reasons behind Camel's great popularity. You'll enjoy Camel's rich flavor and cool mildness pack after pack and week after week.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Friends, nothing can boost your morale like a gift, especially if you're in a hospital bed. That's why the Camel people send gift cigarettes each week to hospitalized servicemen and veterans in this country and overseas. This week, Camels are on their way to Veterans Hospitals, Rutland Heights, Massachusetts, and Lyons, New Jersey, U.S. Naval Hospital, Quantico, Virginia, and to all hospitals operated by the Far East Command of the U.S. Air Force. Now, until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Men, has your pipe got your tongue? Well, switch to Prince Albert, the National Joy Smoke. PA's choice tobacco is specially treated to ensure against tongue bite. Yes, and it's crimp cut, too, for smooth, burning, and cool smoking. Get Prince Albert, rich, flavorful, and with a delightful natural fragrance. It's America's largest selling smoking tobacco.
Listen next week for another exciting transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is Your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
Listen while the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective.
This is your Rexall family druggist speaking to you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names and who recommend and sell the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company, like Rexall MI31, for example, Rexall's popular and versatile mouthwash, gargle, and breath deodorant. Full-strength MI31 kills contacted germs almost instantly, yet will not harm the delicate membranes of the mouth and throat. Ask for Rexall MI31 at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Now your Rexall family druggist brings you another exciting half hour with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Diamond Detective Agency. When it's murder or less, and you're caught in a mess, if you can't pay my fee, my advice is confess.
Rick, you old son of a gun. This is Frank.
Frank? Oh, Frank Bowers?
Yeah. Oh, it's good to talk to you again, Rick. How you been?
Well, no complaints, Frank. What's with you?
Doing great, Rick. Just great. Bought me a half interest in a gym here in town.
Yeah? Sell all your fighters?
Oh, all but one. Boy by the name of Max Farmer. Say, he's going to the main event tonight. You want to catch him?
Well, all depends. Who's throwing him?
No, Rick, no. This boy's really good. Say, why don't you drop by the arena tonight?
Oh, sorry, Frank. I got a date, and she hates the sight of blood.
Talk her into it, boy. I'll leave a couple of passes for you at the gate.
Passes?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm a sucker for a good argument. See you tonight, Frank. That night, I led Helen to our seats at ringside. She was dressed to kill, and from the look on her face, I thought I might be the first on her list.
Rick,
Yes, baby?
would you mind telling the man behind me to stop dripping mustard on my mink?
Oh, sure, honey. Hey, Buster, please do not feed the animals. That's the good boy.
Rick, why of all places the fights?
But, honey, these are $10 seats.
Hey, Ricky, glad you could use the passes.
Boing.
Move your feet, Rockefeller, and let the man in.
Gee, it's good to see you again, Rick. Say, I want you to meet Lorna Thorne.
Wow. Hanging onto Frank's arm, I saw why boys like girls. She was wearing slightly more than the fighters. Had so many curves I got seasick just looking at her. As I stared, I suddenly felt a strange sensation in my legs. Helen was digging her heel into my shin.
Come up for air, Ricky, dear.
Honey, I want you to meet Frank Bowers.
Sally, I know you anywhere. Rick's told me a lot about you.
Frank.
Yeah?
That was 5 years ago. This is Helen.
Oops. My mistake, huh? Lorna, I want you to meet Helen.
Hiya. Well, when in Rome. Hiya.
What a spot for a thesaurus.
Hey, sit over there, will you, honey? I want to sit next to Rick. Oh, Rick, it's a shame I didn't tip you to this fight earlier. You could have put some dough on my boy and really cleaned up.
You think he'll win, huh?
Yeah, I know he'll win. He's fighting Lou Scott, strictly a bum from upstate. The syndicate made the match just to build up Farmer's name and pick up some easy dough on the side.
Now he tells me.
Here's my boy getting in the ring now.
I watched Max Farmer climb through the ropes, stop, smile at the television cameras, then at the crowd, and then at the cameras again. If the people at home thought they were seeing a reissue of The Hairy Ape, then television had improved. Because that's exactly how Max looked.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event. 10 rounds of boxing. In the white corner, wearing black trunks, weighing 175, and hailing from Buffalo, Lou Scott. And in the black corner, wearing purple trunks, weighing 179, and right from our own New York City, Max Farmer.
The boys met in the center of the ring, received some fatherly advice from the referee, shook gloves, and went back to their corners.
Okay, Max. Okay, now, boy, give it to him. Come on, get him, son, get him. Come on.
Well, Frank was right. It certainly was a pushover. 2 minutes later, the fight was 7 counts from being over. Only it wasn't Lou Scott who was fast asleep on the canvas. The Sleeping Beauty was Frank's boy, Max Farmer.
Max, get up! Max, please, come on! Max! Hey! Max, get up! Get up, you bum!
Don't you teach your fighters to duck, Frank?
Oh, I don't understand it. It's all wrong, Rick.
Rick, how can that man sleep up there with all this noise?
Oh, Helen.
Just call me Sal. Now can we go home?
Sure, baby.
Rick, stick around, will you? I may have a job for you.
Oh?
Yeah. Look, I'm going down to the dressing room. Meet me there in 10 minutes. Come on, Lorna.
From the look on Frank's face, I could tell he was worried. So I took Helen outside and put her in a cab. She was a good sport about going home alone, though. Didn't say a word. Not even goodbye. Then I went back inside and made my way to Farmer's dressing room.
Come on!
Inside, I could hear Frank's angry voice.
All right, so you won't tell me who. But you ain't gonna get away with this, Max. I'll find out, and when I do, you'll be back there.
Frank!
I'll be right out, Rick. Now remember this, you bum. We're through, see? Through! Hello, Rick.
Aren't you a little tough on the guy just for losing a fight?
Farmer lost that fight before he ever got into the ring. It was fixed.
Well, that's strong talk, Frank. Got anything to back it up?
Look, I know this boy. I trained him myself. He could have won tonight's fight with his eyes shut. Somebody paid him to take a dive.
Maybe it was his own idea.
Max don't get ideas. He's too dumb. Whew. Rick, I want you to find out who is behind this fix.
Well, you make it sound simple. Got any leads?
Maybe. Drop by the gym the first thing in the morning, and we'll start from there.
First thing next morning, I went down to Frank's gym. They say the early bird gets the worm, and I guess it's true. For standing right inside the door was none other than Sergeant Otis, pride and joy of the 5th Precinct. Pardon me, but aren't you Jack Dempsey?
No, my name is... Diamond, you here?
Very observant, Otis. You're improving. Learned to blow a whistle yet?
Why do I always have to run into you?
Aren't you afraid to be out without your keeper? Where's Walt?
Frank, what are you doing here?
Oh, hi, Walt. Hi. Well, I've got a client here. What's your excuse?
Routine check on a suicide. Guy by the name of Frank Bowers leaped from the Brooklyn Bridge.
What? Frank Bowers?
Yeah, know him?
Yeah. Walt, are you sure about this?
It's open and shut. 3 witnesses saw him do it. We pulled his body out of the river this morning.
Oh, I can't believe it. Frank had no reason to kill himself. I was with him all last evening.
That's a good reason.
Shut up, Otis. Sorry, Rick, but these things happen.
No, not to guys like Frank. He was no quitter. You sure about those witnesses?
They're ordinary citizens, Rick. We took their statements this morning.
That still sounds phony, Walt.
Look, Rick, I know it's hard to believe a friend would take the easy way out, but in this case, it's a fact.
Walt, Frank was a good friend. And before I believe he killed himself, someone's got to convince me.
All right. Otis, drive Diamond out to those witnesses' homes. I'll walk back to the office.
Oh, Lieutenant, why do you always pick on me?
Fate, Otis. Don't fight it. It's bigger than us. Come on. Otis drove like a madman, which was strictly in character. The first witness, a butcher named Henry Burton, was at work. But the butcher's wife, a typical homemaker, gave us her version of Frank's death.
And just like I told the police, off went the overcoat and over he went. Oh, it was awful.
The woman trembled, Otis gloated, and I grabbed my hat. Her husband worked at a nearby market, and their stories checked. That took care of the first 2 witnesses. Then we drove to the home of Bill Voss, the third and final witness.
Well, I was coming home from a late movie, and I started across the Manhattan approach to the bridge. This guy, Bowers, was about 10 yards in front of me. It was foggy, and I couldn't see him very well, but I could make him out when he stopped. He threw off his topcoat, climbed the guardrail, and dived in. I yelled, but it was too late. I'm the one who called the police.
The stories all checked, but I still wasn't convinced. So I had Otis drop me off at Frank's gym. If Frank did kill himself, then there had to be a reason. I decided to check on Frank's partner, one Ben Lamb. I found him in his office.
It's too bad about Frank.
Lamb, what about the business here? Any trouble that might explain why Frank did it?
No, everything's running smoothly here. Of course, it was last night's fight, but that's out of the question.
Well, then maybe it's an answer. Keep talking.
Yeah, the syndicate is looking for whoever fixed last night's fight. They play kind of rough when they're mad, and, well, maybe Frank was afraid of what they might do to him. Huh?
You mean he'd kill himself just to save them a bullet? That's false economy.
It's just a thought. Forget it.
I have. Well, I take it you think Frank was behind the fix.
I didn't say that. But Farmer couldn't plan it himself. He's too dumb.
And Frank was too smart.
I said it. It's just a thought.
But you may be partly right. Maybe Frank's death does have something to do with last night's fight. Is Max Farmer around?
I saw him outside earlier.
Thanks.
Mr. Diamond, might I ask what makes you so interested in Frank's suicide?
Was it suicide, Mr. Lamb?
Well, wasn't it suicide?
I ask you first. See you around, Lamb.
Before we continue with the adventures of Richard Diamond, private detective, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Last week, a customer told me that
Something I really like about Rexall milk of magnesia is that one bottle won't be so thick I can't even pour it, and the next one thin and watery. Somehow, Rexall milk of magnesia always seems to be just right.
Well, ma'am, that's because every bottle of Rexall milk of magnesia has to meet an exacting standard of viscosity, or it won't wear the Rexall label.
What do you mean by viscosity?
Well, an easy definition would be the degree of thickness in a liquid. Now, Rexall scientists conduct scientifically precise tests on every batch of Rexall milk of magnesia to make sure it meets this constant standard of viscosity, because that's one big reason why you'll always get a uniform dosage from every bottle.
Oh, and I thought it was all just an accident.
Oh, no, ma'am. There are no accidents behind the fact. You can always depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
And now back to tonight's adventure with Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
I stood in the center of Frank's gymnasium, certain that Frank's supposed suicide had something to do with last night's fight. But how? That was the jackpot question. In one corner of the gym, I saw Max Farmer hitting a punching bag with a methodical, monotonous rhythm. I walked over to him. Max?
Yeah.
My name is Diamond.
Yeah.
I was a friend of Frank Bowers.
Huh?
But if you can spare any more words, I'd like to ask you a question.
Look, if it's about last night, forget it, see? I don't know nothing about nothing.
No argument there, but I came to see you about boxing.
Huh? I don't get you.
Well, Frank always said you were one of the best, and I thought you could give me a few pointers.
Oh. You a fighter?
No. I just like to show off at the Y. You know how it is.
Oh, sure. Well, you get some trunks from the shower boy and we'll go with you. You can learn plenty from me.
Good, Max. That's just what I'm hoping to learn. Plenty. The shower boys gave me a pair of gloves and purple trunks. I felt like a self-conscious tulip as I entered the ring, but Max seemed quite impressed.
Hey, you got a pretty good build.
I also go steady. You all set?
Yeah, I'm ready. Put 'em up. No, not above your head.
Max, we come from different environments.
Okay, let's go. Hey, you're not bad.
Just lucky. Hey, wait till I tell my friends that I boxed with the Max Farmer.
Yeah, they like that, huh?
Like it? I'll be a hero. After all, Max, you've never lost a fight. I forgot last night. Sorry.
Oh, don't think nothing about that fight. I'll be up there again. You'll see.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, wait a minute, let's take a break. I'm winded.
Okay.
You know, you fighters have a lot of perseverance.
Huh? Yeah, that's what we got, all right. You said.
I guess good athletes are just born, huh? Not made.
Buddy, that's the truth. You know, I've been in sports since grade school.
Still at it?
What, sports?
Skip it. I bet you were good even then, Max.
Oh, boy, was I. I played football in high school. Made all state.
Weren't always a boxer, huh?
No, I've done everything. Hey, tell me. What's the greatest exhibition of sports in the world? Go on, think.
Shriners Convention?
Shriners? Nah. The Olympics. And I was in them, too. Would have won, but Marshall Wayne beat me on points.
My. Would I have a lot to tell my friends. You know, there's just one other fighter I'd like to brag about sparring with.
That's Lou Scott.
Those... What? That Scott's a bum. I could whip him with my eyes shut.
Oh? I heard that's how you lost.
Look, forget about last night. That fight was...
Go on, Max.
I had a headache last night, that's all. Now I gotta take a shower. See you around.
It was the first time I'd ever gone fishing in a boxing ring. I was hoping to find out who was behind the fix. That might throw some light on Frank's death. But to coin an old phrase, the big one got away. Next on my list was the girl Frank was with at the fight, Lorna Thorne. She danced at the Silver Circle, a small nightclub not far from the gym. I went backstage, climbed the iron stairs, and found her room.
Just a sec. Well, Mr. Diamond.
Hello, Miss Thorne.
Sit down. Care for a drink?
It all depends. Are we drowning our sorrow or celebrating?
I don't get you.
You don't seem too upset about Frank.
Oh, that. I'm not the type to cry, honey. Ruins mascara. Oh, don't get me wrong. I liked Frank. Liked him a lot, but we were both in it just for the last.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, did Frank come up here after he left the arena?
Yeah. He came up and we talked till it was time for my number. He left about midnight.
Did he seem upset?
Now that you mention it, he did.
Lorna, how well do you know Ben Lamb?
Only seen him around. Why?
Well, Lamb thinks Frank might have been behind the fixed fight.
Could be. He sure was nervous.
I see. You and Lamb didn't compare stories by any chance?
I told you, I've only seen him around.
Uh-huh. Hey, this is a nice mink coat. Been saving unemployment checks?
I'm a working gal, remember?
Oh, come now, honey. You don't earn enough here to buy this kind of coat.
I'm a bookie on the side.
Fedderson's Furriers on the label. That's real ritzy, kid.
Thanks. Now I gotta change.
Okay.
Well, don't run off. I'll only be a minute.
Some other time, honey.
Suit yourself. I'll be around.
I'll bet you will. I went back to my office, locked the door, put my oxbloods up on my dusty desk, and tried to think. There was no logical motive for suicide, but there was plenty for murder. Lamb would inherit Frank's half of the business. Farmer might have been afraid Frank would blackball him with other managers. And Lorna was the type who would do anything for a fast buck. But then there was that constant headache, the three witnesses. My thoughts were all jumbled up. I kept trying to remember everything that had been said today. I kept hearing voices in a jumbled sequence.
The syndicate plays rough. Frank may have been afraid.
Well, I've been in sports since grade school.
It's an open and shut case, Rick. You're a hard man to convince, Shamus.
Then over he went. Oh, it was awful.
Frank behind it? Yeah, it was only a plot, Diamond.
I'm not the type to cry, honey. It ruins mascara.
Then he climbed the rail and dived in.
Out of 1-2, and Marshal Wayne beat me on points.
Climbed the rail and dived in.
Marshal Wayne beat me. Marshal Wayne. Wayne!
Then he dived in. Dived in. Dived.
I had it. I knew how Frank was killed. Hello?
Mr. Diamond, this is Francis.
It was Helen's butler calling to invite me to dinner that evening. He said something about Helen expecting me, but I wasn't listening. I kept hearing that witness say Frank dived in. It was the answer to the whole thing.
Mr. Diamond, sir, are you listening?
Francis, if you were going to commit suicide...
Sure, sir. I beg your pardon, sir.
Look, if you were going to kill yourself from the Brooklyn Bridge, what would you do?
Oh, dear, I'd reconsider.
No, Francis. If you really were, would you jump or would you dive?
Why, I'd probably jump, sir. Yes, I'm sure I would.
Well, of course. It's a natural thing to do. See you later, Francis. The pieces began to fall into place. I remembered something Max Farmer had said earlier. Marshal Wayne had beaten him on points. Marshal Wayne. I had associated that name with boxing, but now... I checked in the sports almanac. Listed under the 36 Olympics, I found Marshal Wayne won the high diving competition that year. And Max had competed with him. Now I was certain. First, I put in a call to Fedderson's Furriers for some information. So far, so good. Then I called Walt and told him to meet me at the gym. It was closing time when I got there, and most of the fighters were leaving. but I caught sight of Max Farmer as he made his way out of the showers. How's the water, Max?
Huh? Diamond,
What's the matter? You don't look happy to see me.
what are you doing here?
The boys at the Y, remember? I came for some more pointers.
It's closing time.
Oh, that's too bad. That's the only reason you don't want to spend some time with me, huh?
Yeah.
You're not too tired.
Me? I'm never tired. It's just closing up, that's all.
Well, Max, old pal, I've got good news for you. I fixed it with Lamb for me to lock up when we're finished.
Huh? Well,
Not scared by any chance?
me scared of you? Why? Get some trunks. You'll see who's scared.
I wondered if my Blue Cross plan was still in effect as I changed clothes and followed Max out to the ring in the middle of the deserted gymnasium. Max had an ugly scowl on his face, and I knew that this time he would pull no punches.
Ouch.
Hey, playing rough, eh, pal?
You got a lousy guard. That's all.
Hi. You act nervous. Tired of boxing? Maybe you'd rather be swimming, huh?
Huh?
Oops, sorry. Now your guard is down. Of course, a born athlete like you would be happy doing anything in the way of sports, I suppose. Maybe even diving. Your guard, pal, your guard.
You don't make sense.
No, I think so. Oh, your mind's wandering, Max. Keep your guard up. You know, for a real sport, like, say, high diving, there's really no place around here to practice. Unless, of course, you tried the Brooklyn Bridge. I'll bet a really good diver could make it from the Manhattan approach without a scratch.
Now listen, what's the...
The guard, Samson. Better watch it.
Hold it a minute. What's the big idea?
The big idea came when I figured out how 3 witnesses could see a suicide that wasn't a suicide.
You're loony.
Am I? Those witnesses didn't see Frank because he was already in the river. You'd pushed him in. You waited for some people to show up, and then you dived in.
No.
Yes, Max, yes. But you weren't alone in this. Someone had to talk you into taking a dive in the fight, and a different kind later on. You'd have thrown the fight for any man's money, but you'd only risk your neck for a particular species. Female. Men are funny that way.
It ain't true.
Max, Lorna confessed an hour ago.
What? I'll kill you for this.
That's your 3rd and final dive, Max.
That's a nice right cross, Rick.
Oh, I seen better.
Ah, the little boys in blue. About time. Walt, when Joe Palooka here wakes up, I think he'll confess. He believes the girl already did.
Yeah, so I heard. Rick, how did you figure her in this mess?
Well, like most females, she couldn't wait for a mink coat. According to Fedderson's Furrier, she bought an expensive coat the day after the fight, paid cash for it.
These amateur criminals.
Someone had to be the brains behind Max's action, so I put 2 and 2 together and got 2. Max and Lorna.
Yeah. Otis, go pick up Lorna Thornton. Well, stop fixing your tie and move.
Oh, let him alone, Walt. First date he's had in years.
Rick.
Huh?
Rick,
Well, honey, what is it?
do you have to play so loud?
Well, I can't help it, baby. It's the brute in me.
Mm-hmm. And that shiner, darling. What happened? Client or doorknob?
Young lady, I have been boxing. Just call me Kid Diamond, please.
Oh, no. Boxing. You?
Well, why not?
It's so strenuous.
Well, I'm in fair shape.
What do you use for muscles?
You just put up your dukes and I'll show you.
All righty. Now get up and sing.
I'm young and healthy, and you've got charm. It'd really be a sin not to have you in my arms. I'm young and healthy, and so are you. When the moon is in the sky, tell me what am I to do? If I could hate you, I'd keep away. But that ain't my nature, I'm full of vitamin A. I'm young and healthy, so let's be bold. In a year or 2 or 3, maybe we will be too old. If I could hate you, I'd keep away. But that ain't my nature, I'm full of vitamin A. Ooh, I'm young and healthy, so let's be bold. In a year or 2 or 3, maybe we will be too old.
Rick, I'm sorry I hit you so hard, but you're such a show-off.
Now, look, honey, you got the wrong idea about this whole...
Begging your pardon, Mr. Diamond, sir, but I just wanted to tell you that I've changed my mind. I would dive off the bridge.
What, Francis?
You see, I've always been afraid to dive, and, well, it would be fun, just that once.
Oh, no.
Again, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Whenever you have a headache, remember this about Rexall aspirin. When taken with water, the 5 full grains of pure aspirin in every Rexall tablet are ready to go to work for you even before they reach your stomach. So whenever you have a headache, remember that about Rexall aspirin. Ask for it at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember always, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, stars Dick Powell in the title role and is written by Richard Carr and Marvin Marks with music composed and conducted by Frank Worth. Featured in tonight's cast were Virginia Gregg, Ted DeCorsia, Wilms Herbert, Dee Tatum, Wally Mayer, Howard McNear, Hy Aberback, and Jay Novello. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. This is Bill Foreman inviting you to be with us next Wednesday at this time when we will again bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective.
Hiya, beautiful.
Get lost, Bristlepuss. You need a shave.
But I have shaved. What else do you want me to do?
Silly boy, she wants you to go Stag.
Go Stag? But why?
Because Stag is Rexall's exclusive line of men's good grooming aids, like Stag Brushless Shave Cream. No fuss, no massage, just smooth it on and presto, you get a clean, close shave. Your face stays smooth and whiskerless all day long.
I'll do it. I'll go Stag.
That's it. Join the Stag line now at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Yes, to make girls care. Go Stag.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. Listen while the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective.
Rexall family druggist speaking to you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names and who recommend and sell the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company, like Rexall MI-31, for example, Rexall's popular and versatile mouthwash, gargle, and breath deodorant. Full-strength MI-31 kills contacted germs almost instantly yet will not harm the delicate membranes of the mouth and throat. Ask for Rexall MI31 at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Now your Rexall family druggist brings you a transcribed half hour with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Oh, gee, Diamond, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you?
Oh, no, Seymour. I feel great.
Oh.
Who needs seats? Come to think of it, though, I might be more comfy down here if you'd lift this desk off my chest.
Oh, yeah, sure. There you go.
Oh, well, thanks.
Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you over.
Oh, forget it. I enjoy having my chest crushed as much as the next guy.
Okay. Now, the throw I'm going to show you now is called a Japanese shoulder toss.
Look, Seymour, you've convinced me. Judo is a wonderful sport. I didn't realize what I'd been missing all these years. I love this sport, judo. Now, what'll it be, canasta or old maid?
What?
How about hopscotch?
Oh, come on. Let me show you just one more throw, huh?
Not even if it was with a beanbag.
Hey, maybe some wrestling holds in. I know a lot of wrestling stuff. Must be some trick you'd like me to try.
No, Seymour. I really don't believe Well, come to think of it, yes, there is a wonderful little trick.
Huh?
You get yourself a nice long rope, throw it high up into the air.
Yeah.
And then real quick you climb way, way up to the top and just disappear.
Oh, that's nuts.
Oh, a defeatist, huh? Well, no. Diamond Detective Agency, brains, experience, enthusiasm, delirium tremens.
Rick, don't be so silly. I might have been a prospective client.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But you'll have to admit, I have got brains and enthusiasm and good looks and a dynamic personality. And my father can beat up your father.
Rick, you're incorrigible.
No, I'm right here in New York.
Oh, that's just dandy. Now, will you please tell me what we're doing tonight?
Oh, that, honey, is a long story.
I'm comfortable.
Well, remember the day we walked into Gimbel's basement and I bumped into an old schoolmate of mine who was demonstrating barbells?
I remember how funny you looked when he goaded you into picking up that big weight.
Yeah. And how hysterical it was when he had to carry me upstairs to the chiropractor.
I carried you just like a baby, too, didn't I?
Who's that?
Now, that's him. Muscles. He bicycled all the way over from Jersey just to tell me his ideas on self-defense.
He bicycled?
Oh, he was dressed for it. Top hat, tails, sneakers.
What are you talking about?
One of his cleverest ideas was that I'd treat him to dinner tonight if he could knock me to the floor in less than 30 seconds.
So?
Gave him the battle of his life. 7 seconds. The point is, where can we eat where they'll poison his food?
Hey, I heard that.
It's all right, Seymour. You can order small helping.
Rick.
Let's make it Leon's, baby, okay?
Must we?
Will you be an angel and meet us at Leon's?
I'll meet you at Leon's.
8 o'clock sharp.
Rick, if you keep me waiting.
If I keep you waiting, you can have a lock of my hair. 8 o'clock.
Sharp.
Well, I'll see you at Leon's at 8 o'clock, huh? Bring lots of money, because I'm a guy that can really eat.
Oh, I bet you are. Well, if you arrive there before I do, Seymour, start in on the ferns by the front door. Seymour was too stupid to go away mad, but at least he went away. I settled back in my chair and made a half-hearted attempt to figure a face out of the water spot on the ceiling. When I woke up, it was 5 o'clock, and I hated myself for the indulgence. As I sat there, thinking how much my mouth tasted like an old motorman's glove, I heard a noise in the hall on the other side of my door. Well, good afternoon. Something I can do for...
Juice bar. Juice bar.
Hey. He fell face forward into the pool of blood at his feet, like a wino who'd stumbled into a fountain of muscatel. Funny, isn't it, how an ice pick loses all its homey appeal when it's sticking out of a guy's back? The ice pick this guy was wearing was no exception. I didn't know how long he'd been leaning against my door, but one thing was certain: it was long enough to die. I put in a call to 5th Precinct Police Headquarters and Lieutenant Levinson. And 10 minutes later, my office was full of badges.
And you have no idea who he is, huh, Rick?
Not the vaguest, Walt.
Well, the checkup shows you're the only office in the building that's been open after 2, so he must have been on his way to see you when he got it from behind.
Maybe he was delivering ice and just happened to fall on his ice pick.
Otis.
Yeah?
Otis, now that you've solved it, why don't you go down to the glue factory and let them put you up in nice little glass bottles?
Oh. Well, anyway, here's a billfold in his pocket. That ought to tell us something.
How about a look, Fatty?
Huh? Oh, sure. Here.
Quite a card collector, wasn't he?
Quite.
Gold Furriers, the Copper Room, O'Toole's Diner.
Lousy food. Got ptomaine once from that cheesecake.
I remember. I got ptomaine just watching you eat it.
I resent that.
And I accept your apology.
Yeah. Huh? Where's that green card from?
This one?
Yeah.
The Apollo Health Club. Hey, that's right down the street.
Nothing with the old boy's name on it, though.
Afraid not. However, something tells me you'll get that from the old boy's fingerprints.
Let's hope so.
Salute this afternoon to you, sir. Welcome to the Apollo Health Club. May I be of assistance?
I'd like to get a massage.
Splendid. Performs wonders after a fatiguing day. A veritable balm to the chafed tissues of the body.
But will it cure snow blindness?
I beg your pardon?
No, just ignore me. I'm a little chewed up today.
I assume you're referring to a state of mind.
Well, not altogether. Got a kink in my back that isn't entirely mental.
Well, at least you've come to the proper place. A measure of skillfully applied anatomical science will regenerate the damaged musculature in no time. O'Brien? Mr. O'Brien, front, please. One of my best masseurs.
Oh, you're the owner, huh?
I am, sir. Let me introduce myself. Emerson Van Arthur, Doctor of Anatomical Science.
Richard Diamond.
A pleasure.
Nice layout you have here.
Indeed. 5 years of assiduous study in Switzerland under the illustrious Dr. von Sepperville has given me a boundless knowledge of the human mechanism. As a consequence, of course...
Are you calling me, Doctor?
Oh, yes. O'Brien, I did. Mr. Diamond here wishes a massage.
Sure, fine.
I'll speak to you later, Mr. Diamond.
Right this way, sir.
Remember, the blood toward the heart, always toward the heart.
A real private detective, huh?
Too private, judging from last month's receipts. Hey, you know, you really rubbed that kink out of my back.
Good. Don't know if you noticed it, but I was doing all my rubbing with my right arm. Tore a muscle on my left shoulder this morning. Really put it out of commission.
Oh, that's too bad. Speaking of things being out of commission reminds me, there's a body down at the morgue I'd like you to take a look at. Guy might have been a client of yours.
What makes you think that?
Had a card from the Apollo Club in his billfold.
Oh?
When could you come down?
How about tonight? We close here at 10.
Fine. Make it, what about 10:30? Know where the morgue is?
Yeah. How'd this guy die, anyway?
Somebody hid their ice pick in his spinal column.
No kidding.
Yeah. The corpse is a little dark-complexioned man. Kinky hair, glasses, bald spot on the top of his head.
Hey, that description fits a guy who comes in here every night around closing time. Fanatic on diet. He buys wheat germ from us by the case.
Know his name or where he lives?
Oh, I know that
Pardon me, gentlemen, but I'm afraid I'll have to ask Mr. O'Brien to hurry down to the gymnasium.
Oh, sure, right away, sir. Here's a fresh towel, Mr. Diamond.
Thanks.
Sorry to interrupt like this, but we're a trifle understaffed, and expediting the evening rush is something of a problem.
Well, all right.
Talk to you later tonight, Mr. Diamond.
All right. Oh, hey, in case you can't make it, give me a buzz at Leon's restaurant. I'll be there till 9:15.
Right.
Ah, Monsieur Diamond.
Hello.
Bonsoir.
Hello, Leon.
Par ici, par ici.
Which translated into English means?
Right this way.
Both my guests arrived?
Oui. First the young lady, then a few minutes later the gymnast. But, Mr. Diamond, a telephone call is waiting for you.
Oh, thanks, Leon. Hello, Diamond speaking.
Hello, Mr. Diamond. This is Red O'Brien down at the Apollo Club.
Oh, yeah, O'Brien.
Hey, listen, you gotta come down here right away. I really stumbled into something.
Yeah, what's that?
Can't tell you over the phone. Just get down here. Drop everything and get down here. Hurry.
Look, Red, I'm right in the middle of the... Hello? 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 Oh. Hey, kids, I got to run. Be back in a few minutes.
Just where do you think you're going?
Place called the Apollo Club.
Yeah? Well, how about my dinner?
Go right ahead and order. I'll be back. Oh, by the way, Seymour, that potato salad on the child's plate is a real deal for a quarter. And Helen,
Yes, Rick.
shoot the kill if he even suggests wrestling. I walked out of Leon's, flagged down a cab, and spent the trip back to the Apollo Club, wondering what Red O'Byron was so worked up about and why he'd hung up on me. As my cab started to swing in toward the curb, I got that lousy feeling again, and I decided definitely it was not one of Leon's martinis, but rather the large white ambulance parked in front of the Apollo Health Club. I was halfway up the steps of the club when Dr. Van Arter appeared in the doorway.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Diamond. This is terrible. Terrible.
What is?
We've had an accident.
Red O'Byron?
Yes. Oh, terrible. Like losing a son.
Losing? He's dead?
Yes. He was performing a handstand on the rings in the gymnasium, and he slipped and fell. Broke his neck.
Before we continue with the adventures of Richard Diamond, private detective, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Last week, a customer told me that
Something I really like about Rexall milk of magnesia is that one bottle won't be so thick I can't even pour it, and the next one thin and watery. Somehow, Rexall milk of magnesia always seems to be just right.
well, ma'am, that's because every bottle of Rexall milk of magnesia has to meet an exacting standard of viscosity, or it won't wear the Rexall label.
What do you mean by viscosity?
Well, an easy definition would be the degree of thickness in a liquid. Now, Rexall scientists conduct scientifically precise tests on every batch of Rexall milk of magnesia to make sure it meets this constant standard of viscosity, because that's one big reason why you'll always get a uniform dosage from every bottle.
Oh, and I thought it was all just an accident.
Oh, no, ma'am. There are no accidents behind the fact. You can always depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
And now back to tonight's adventure with Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
Well, hello, Otis. Is the lieutenant around?
Yeah, he's around, so what?
Otis, did you ever think how silly you'd look hanging from your thumb?
Ah, go soak your head.
You mean that's how you shrunk yours?
Well, now, isn't that a coincidence?
Is it?
I was just thinking how peaceful it is around the precinct when you're not. Yeah. You shut up, you.
You tell him, Fatty.
How would you like to...
I'd like a little information, if you don't mind. I'd like you to see what facts you can scare up on the guy who runs the Apollo Health Club. Name is Van Arter.
If I remember right, the stiff we hauled away in front of your office today had a card from the Apollo Club in his billfold.
You remember right?
And we found out his name was Rudy Lubin. Narcotics has a file on him that goes forever.
How about the ice pick? Any fingerprints?
None.
Well, that's always a help.
I should say.
Personally, I think Otis did it.
Think I did what?
You see, Walter, typical pathological reaction.
What do you mean?
Oh, don't worry, Otis. We won't let them hang you, right, Walt?
Right.
Not as long as we have a rope and a tree.
No. Hey, what's up? Who you calling?
Leon's restaurant. Helen's over there breathing with her diaphragm. And Seymour... Oh, you don't know him, but he's tearing phone books apart.
Good evening, Leon.
Oh, hello, Leon. This is Richard Diamond. My friend still there?
Oui. They are waiting for you, no?
They're waiting for me, yes. Let me speak to the noisy one with the biceps, will you?
Oui, bien entendu.
What's all this about?
It's about a guy who got stabbed in front of my door, a masseur named O'Byron who got his neck broken doing tricks on the rings, and something that O'Byron mentioned earlier.
Hello.
Seymour?
Where are you, anyway? We've been waiting an hour.
That's not the point. The point is, I want you to listen to me. Could a guy do a handstand on the rings if he had a torn muscle in his shoulder?
Are you kidding?
I'm very serious.
Heck no, he couldn't. It's impossible. Shoulder muscles are the ones who do all the work. Deltoids, trapezius, upper pecs.
Yeah. Okay. Look, Seymour, you got to do me a favor. Meet me in front of the Apollo Health Club as soon as you can get there.
Well, how about your girlfriend?
Tell her to wait there till I come for her.
Oh, okay, then. Only, what are we going to do?
Trap or murder her. I hung up, assured Lieutenant Levinson that I was just going to do a little reconnaissance work, and then left for the Apollo Club. Seymour was waiting when my cab drew up in front. I explained to him the part I wanted him to play.
Just leave it to me. If this doctor's a phony, I'll find out for you.
Let's go.
Hello again, Mr. Diamond.
Doctor?
I just talked to the O'Brien boys' family. It was heartrending, absolutely heartrending. I almost broke down.
No, you will before it's over.
Hmm?
I'd like you to meet a friend of mine, Seymour Caper.
A pleasure, sir.
What do you say, Doc?
Seymour's been having a little trouble with his chest lately. I told him you were a doctor of...
anatomical science.
Yeah, and that you could undoubtedly do him some good.
Very kind of you.
There's something to do with my muscles here. You know anything about them?
Muscles are what an anatomical scientist knows most about.
Oh, swell.
The doctor studied all about muscles in Switzerland.
Oh?
Just what seems to be the trouble.
Well, here's the deal, Doc. It all started the other day when I was working out with my barbells. I was doing an exercise for my trapezius when all of a sudden I got a spasm in my tensor fascia. So I bent over to set the barbell down on the floor, and that's when the pain hit me. First in my pectoralis minor, then in my intercostals, and finally my diaphragm. A kind of spasmodic contraction like when you get the hiccups. Only no hiccups. You know what I mean?
Yes. A spasmodic contraction.
Of the diaphragm.
Only no hiccups.
And then my abdominals began tightening until I could hardly expel my rib cage.
Oh.
That's when I called Diamond here.
I see. Yes, quite naturally. If you'll pardon me a moment, I'll see if I...
Yeah, but wait a minute. I haven't told you about my rhomboid.
His rhomboids seem to be completely out of whack.
Beg your pardon.
Well, it must be either my rhomboids or my dorsal spinalis. Awful pain right between my shoulder blades. What do you figure it is, Doc?
Well, actually, hasty diagnosis isn't feasible.
Huh?
I really couldn't...
Yeah, but you just put your hand on my left rhomboid and feel how knotty it is, huh?
Left rhomboid.
Yeah, go ahead, feel it. It's right under the middle trapezius, Doc. You know where that is.
Please, Seymour. Don't insult the doctor. Any old quack knows where that is.
Yes, certainly. Middle trapezius. Great Scott. I'd almost forgotten. I left a client under the sun lamp. Pardon me, gentlemen. I'll be back in a moment.
Have a hunch he's heading straight for an anatomy chart.
Yeah, you're not kidding. That guy's as funny as the title he uses. Doctor of Anatomical Science. My gluteus.
Mine, too. Come on. I took Seymour by his rhomboid and led him out onto the street, down to the middle of the block, and up 3 flights to my office. While I did my thinking, Seymour did his push-ups.
302. 303.
Well, Seymour, we know 3 things. O'Brien couldn't have been exercising on the rings with an injured shoulder.
5 right.
And the doctor's a phony.
6 right.
Then the doctor is a front for something that's important enough to kill people over.
300 and right. 8.
As a consequence, you and I are burglars.
9 right. What?
Starting as soon as the Apollo Club closes.
But you mean we're going to bust into the joint?
We're going to bust into the joint or flatten your head in the attempt. Seymour, you opened that window beautifully.
Thanks.
Remind me to autograph your biceps later.
Hey, this detective business is dangerous, ain't it?
Oh, yes. But think of the advantages. Long hours, no time for meals. And on a good day, a guy can pick up as high as 200 or 300 bullets in his back.
I don't like it.
Go on, crawl in.
Okay. Don't push.
I followed Seymour in, and we waited a minute for our eyes to get accustomed to the darkness. Then we moved cautiously down the stairway to the first floor. I had no idea what I was looking for, but Dr. Van Arthur's office was the first place where I tried to find it.
Hey, the door's locked. You want it opened?
Well, of course I do, Seymour. Use your head.
Okay.
Seymour will be pulling plywood out of his scalp for the next week, but it got us in. I took the place apart, but came up with a big fat nothing. So we left the office and headed down the hall toward the back of the building.
Hey, look.
What's the matter?
It's a fruit juice bar. Oh, boy, am I thirsty.
Well, go mix yourself up a juice bar. juice bar, that's it.
Yeah, good stiff bell of celery juice.
No. This is what the little man who was stabbed outside my office was gasping about when he died. A juice bar. Come on.
Nothing but juice.
Oh, I wonder what's in this cupboard under the counter.
Is it locked?
Yeah. Think you can pull it open?
Just watch me. You see?
Seymour,
Yeah.
will you marry me?
I'll give you a belt and a solar plexus.
Later, huh? Lie down. Let's see what's in this cupboard. You got a match?
I don't smoke.
That's all right. I found one. Well, what do you know about that? Nothing but cans of wheat germ.
You know what that stuff is, don't you?
I know that the masseur who got killed here told me that the guy who died in front of my office brought it up by the case.
Hand me a can, will you?
Sure. Here.
This stuff is full of vitamins, you know. You want a handful?
Oh, no thanks.
Yeah. Well, it must be some extra special brand. Never tasted anything like this before.
Chew a little louder, Seymour. We can dance to it.
Hey. Hey, that really hits the spot, man. Hey, you want to wrestle?
Oh, quiet, Seymour.
You know what, boy? I can fly.
Seymour.
I can fly. That is, see? Oh, man, do I ever love to fly.
While Seymour stood there flapping his arms, I stuck my nose into the can he was holding. Uh-huh. Once you've smelled opium, you can always recognize the aroma, even when it's mixed with wheat germ. I was trying to decide what to do with Seymour when he slid slowly to the floor under the counter and rocked out. I loosened his collar, then started for a telephone.
Leaving, Mr. Detective.
Wow. Doctor, working late?
I'm glad I arrived in time to offer you a drink of fruit juice.
Well, thanks loads, but I'm driving.
Where you're going, Mr. Detective, the weather is too hot for driving.
Now, isn't that a nasty thing for a guy who sticks ice picks in people to say?
That was the most unpleasant experience, I assure you. It's just that Mr. Lubin began demanding a little too high a percentage for us to be in my health foods. Even went so far as to threaten me with exposure.
So you grabbed up an ice pick from your juice bar and followed him out of the club.
Mm-hmm. I doubt if he ever knew what hit him.
Oh, I bet he had a hunch.
Well, I perceive that you sampled my wheat germ.
No, I opened a can or two. Personally, I never touched the stuff without bananas and cream.
You've made the same unfortunate discovery that Wed O'Brien made, Mr. Detective.
Oh, that's why he called me Leon.
Yes, and that's also why I had to resort to the unsportsmanlike expedient of luring him to the balcony of the gymnasium and then pushing him over head first.
I was about to call the doctor a particularly dirty name when Seymour's hulking shoulders loomed up behind the juice bar, not over 3 feet from where the doctor was standing. Doctor, you're wrong. Seymour is not a sissy.
What?
I don't think you could beat up Seymour with one hand. That's what.
Mr. Diamond, I'm afraid you're asking to be shot.
Yeah, well, just to try it.
Who said...
Yes. I'll teach him to call somebody who knows how to fly a sissy.
She's still here, though, huh?
Now, we was very angry.
Look, Leon, you got to do something for me.
We?
Tell the violinist to get his big fat Stradivarius over to where she's sitting.
And quick. We, immediately.
Hello, Miss Asher. Oh, come on, sweetie. I've had a rough night subduing murderers, opium eaters. Least you could do is say hello.
Hello.
I, like that song, don't you?
Look, I know all about you and your little violin bit.
Huh?
I saw Leon pointing us out to the violinist.
He did?
Mm-hmm. And where, may I ask, is little Seymour?
Little Seymour ate too many goodies. He's having his stomach pumped.
Oh, now that's sweet.
I think so. I think the song is nice, too.
I think you should sing it, too.
I think I should, too. Hold me close and hold me fast, the magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose.
kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see la vie en rose. When you press your heart, oh God, start the song again. Hold me close and hold me fast, the magic spell you cast, this is la vie en rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see la vie en rose. When you press me to your heart, I'm in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday words seem to turn into love songs. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be la vie en rose.
Nothing?
I won't say.
Want to feel my biceps?
All right.
Well?
Nothing.
Again, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Whenever you have a headache, remember this about Rexall aspirin. When taken with water, the 5 full grains of pure aspirin in every Rexall tablet are ready to go to work for you even before they reach your stomach. So whenever you have a headache, remember that about Rexall aspirin. Ask for it at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember always, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, stars Dick Powell in the title role and is written by Harvey Easton with music composed and conducted by Frank Worth. Featured in tonight's cast were Virginia Gregg, Arthur Q. Bryan, Wilm Turbot, Bill Conrad, Jay Novello, and Dan O'Herlihy. Richard Diamond, Private Detective is transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle. This is Bill Foreman inviting you to be with us next Wednesday at this time when we will again bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective.
Hiya, beautiful.
Get lost, Bristlepuss. You need a shave.
But I have shaved. What else do you want me to do?
Silly boy, she wants you to go Stag.
Go Stag? But why?
Because Stag is Rexall's exclusive line of men's good grooming aids, like Stag Brushless Shave Cream. No fuss, no massage, just smooth it on and presto, you get a clean, close shave. Your face stays smooth and whiskerless all day long.
I'll do it. I'll go Stag.
That's it. Join the Stag line now at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Yes, to make girls care. Go Stag.